Just a desire to do that against some of the company decks. But anyways, this is here, 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 these are here. Chord you can be casting as early as like turn, but I like to kind of just like let it be where it lies, and then you can do that, or you can do maybe arguably this is like here. I don't know how you want to curve this, because like, you know, Chord is kind of that gray zone. Does the Archangel happen directly after these plays? I don't know. What is the standard? No, it's just Bant Company. Oh, I put the Gavinies in with the Archangel, so actually it did curve. I like to put Gaviny up here because you don't really like Gaviny as a land drop. You kind of like it as the ability to, for 5 lands, tap it, activate it. So the Mirror Wave gives you synergy with Gaviny, it has good synergy with Feeders, it has good synergy with the Frogling. If you want to run more Graft or creatures like Feeder, there are options, but I was pulling off these Mirror Weaves just with a playset of Feeder and a Frogling. Damon says, how many tickets do I need to complete it? You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Between the companies, between the chords, and the playset of Spike Feeders, and especially the Archangels, you don't want to know how expensive this is. And then a couple other jank cards, these don't cost anything. I already have my Geist. You don't want to know how much this costs, dabbing. I already have the mana base for it, and the spell skites for it. But basically the ways that this deck wins is threefold. Most company decks, like Abzan Company, for example, only has 2 ways to win. We actually have 3, so let me show you how that works. So the deck has 3 avenues of attack. You've got the, and I'm not talking about the one-sided sweepers, but you've got the Archangel Spike Feeder infinite combo. You've got the, so that's actually the only way this one goes infinite, which is fine. Because we're not in black, we don't get the Zeraseer. So the only way we go infinite is Archangel plus Feeder, that's fine. We have a couple different ways to assemble it. The other way we go infinite, or that's the only way I go infinite. The other way is I get value. You can, of course, just do beatdown with Township or like a Geist. A Geist that grows is gross, by the way. The other way that you win is the Angel's Herald. So I have a really, really spicy package here. I might run 2 Heralds, 1 Imperial Archangel, but basically the deck is actually really set up nicely to produce a white creature, that's the Herald, a green creature, that's probably a bird or a noble, or it could be a Wall of Roots, could be a feeder, and then the blue creature is the hard part. If you can pull off the blue creature, that's why I'm going to test a Grafter. If you can pull off the blue creature, you can have a pretty consistent turn 4 or so Archangel, which is pretty cool when I was first putting this together and thinking about what I wanted the deck to do. Maybe you sideboard a Mirror Weave, and then you can main deck another blue creature if you can find one. The only playables that I found were the Glen, the Geist, Reflector Mage, Frogling, Grafter, Medley Mage, and Mastermind. The hard part is a lot of those are what? Bullets. So like, how often are you actually assembling the Archangel package? It's not always easy. So how many whites do we have? So we have this many creatures that can function as white. Here's the cool thing about Herald. If you didn't have Herald in the first place, you're not worried about having that white creature. In post-board, we have a lot more white creatures. But it's actually not that hard to assemble an Archangel, which is neat. Really, really cool. Gives the deck some angles that I think that these Bant decks just don't normally have. Something that I tutor up that really gives the blue at red decks a fit. Because guys can be answered by anger. There's actually very few Jeskai decks or just hard sweepers being played in Modern right now. So Archangel, it doesn't really leave the battlefield that often. It beats Burn. Says all damage that would be dealt to me is instead dealt to the Imperial. So tutoring this up is really awesome. So you'll have some board states where you actually chord for Angel's Herald, and then the Herald next turn just taps, and then you get an Archangel and you win the game. But it's pretty cool. Let's see, how many white creatures is that? How many green? Let's run the numbers. So most of the creatures can what? They can count for green. By and large, you've got 19. So that number's pretty easy. Dried Arbor counts as well, which is why I was running it. So you've got 20 on the green. Green's not the hard part. The hard part's blue and white. So white is 5, 6 with Kasali Pride Mage, and you technically can count the Archangels, but I wouldn't necessarily. The Spellskite doesn't help our color count, and honestly should be in the sideboard because of that. Maybe you main deck a Kitchen Finks instead. Finks is fine in the main board. Yeah, you can main board a Finks. But, yeah. And then if you wanted to run more Heralds, you could. So this doubles as both a green. That puts us up to, what, 21? Green, and then you've got 9 white, and then the hard part's the blue. So blue, you've only got Frogling and Grafter. Actually, we're doing better on blue than we are white, right? if you don't want to include the Archangels. Rayos is just load up. Sky is ours. Oh, you're right. Thank you. I can't count the Grafter. You're right. That makes this card awkward. Okay, we're probably better off with Froglings then. I really should be running more Frogling because here's the thing. If we're going to run Mirror Weave, the only synergy I have in the deck really is the Froglings and the Feeders. What other options do I have? Graft. Can you guys think of other creatures that are zeros that aren't clones? Other creatures that work, like, so basically I'd like more creatures that work with the Mirror Weave, otherwise we just shouldn't run it. The playset of Feeder is super spicy. Does everybody understand why this is a one-sided board sweeper in my deck? If not, I'm happy to enlighten you, and it's really cool card. It was my original build-around card for the deck. If it's not going to run Mirror Weave, I'm not interested in playing it. As cool as a tunable Archangel is, or as powerful as Archangel of Thune plus Feeder Thune is, or Spike Thune is combo, I have no interest in playing this deck if we're not going to test some Mirror Weaves. So, can you guys think of any more creatures that work with Mirror Weave to make it a one-sided sweeper? Anyone? Coiling Oracle. Just run more Finks. Irish doesn't understand how it works. Okay, so basically the way it works is these creatures are all zeros, right? They're a 0/0. This is a 0/0 Irish. So basically, if you pair that with Mirror Weave, so you copy the Frogling or you copy the Feeder, all the other creatures on the board state die. If we've Gavinied already this turn, even just once, none of our creatures die, because the way that Mirror Weave works doesn't say anything about 1/1 counters. No. So each other creature becomes copy of target non-land. You can even kill an Emrakul with this effect. So let's say somebody goes to Jeskai Nahiri, and they have an Emrakul that comes out. What's cool is Mirror Weave doesn't target. What we're targeting is the Spike Feeder. So let's say somebody goes for the Jeskai kill, and then I'm like, okay, Mirror Weave. As long as I'm targeting a 0/0 creature, the Emrakul will die. You can kill basically anything in the format. You know, they could have like a Restoration Angel. I don't care. They could have a board state of a whole bunch of things. But the Mirror Weave is super cool. Just run Spiders. Yeah, you can run Spider. Like, Spider has Graft. There's a lot of other options. I'd like it to be companyable. So, like, you've got Graft. Yeah, you can run Graft. Like, this is not all that exciting, though. I'd probably just run a second Frogling. Just run Hangerback. Yeah, Hangerback Walker is an option. Hangerback. Hangerback's an option. Yeah. Yep, that is a 0/0. I like that idea. Use Dungrove Elder. Yeah, it works amazing with Gavany. The Mirror Weave, yep. Well, right, the Gavaniers are important because it makes all the other creatures not die. Apocalypse Hydra is cool. Oh, the Hydras don't really... I mean, yeah, they're Hydras. The problem with Hydra... the Hydras don't play very well with Collected Company. But yeah, the Hydras are an option, all the Hydras. The problem is... Or the X Hydras. The problem with the Hydras is they don't really do a great job. But, Dungrove is neat, though. Dungrove does say forests you control. So Dungrove's actually really cool with Mirror Weave. Against non-green decks, that's a blowout. I don't think I'm running enough forests to really make that car shine. We're even running a fountain, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forests. I don't think we're running enough to really make this card shine. But yeah, Dungrove is actually maybe even the best target for Mirror Weave because it's hexproof. That was kind of my hope with the Frogling and the Feeder, is these aren't really good targets for removal anyway. So maybe people wouldn't be inclined or able to. Like, Frogling, that's kind of why I was using Frogling. It also doubles as a blue creature. I think we should just go heavier on Frogling. It helps not only the Imperial Archangel finish, it also helps the Mirror Weave without being too out there. I mean, Dungrove is an option, though. We could maybe try to pick one up for the sideboard, even. This seems cool in some situations. Has synergy here, if they don't have forests. Cryptborn Horror is cool. You could play with allies? What? Why no Witness? If I'm going to run a Witness, it'd be in the sideboard, which it is. I mean, it's certainly a main deckable card. It depends what you're trying to do. I mean, I wasn't even going to main board the third Finks. I was just going to have it in the sideboard. But yes, Finks is an option. Witness could be in the main. Ooze could be in the main. Maybe sideboard this. Maybe sideboard the Geist too. So there's a bunch of different configurations you could run for this. Like I said, it's just a prototype. Yeah. So, but yeah, somebody earlier was asking about how the Archangels or the Mirror Weave works. Did I explain everything? Micaeus? Micaeus is cool. Faster Creep is cool with black. Right, there's the green one, there's a white one. And Micaeus. Micaeus is cool. Problem with Micaeus is you don't want to hit it off a collected company, but this is an option. Micaeus is kind of neat. Okay. Servant of the Scale. Yeah, Micaeus might be a spicy one. If it's legendary, I really wouldn't want to run the second. Anafenza is an option. Once you start getting into Anafenza, though, you want to start trying to incorporate the entire Wombo combo. The problem is without a manaless sacrifice engine, and I'm not aware of one that you could run in this color combination, because Vizier Seer really is the real deal. You could still run an Anafenza just for value, but it doesn't. There's no infinite that you can pull off that. Like, here's the thing to think about. Like, a Malara might be interesting. The reason a Malara might be fun is or useful in the sideboard is because Infect really is becoming that much of a thing. I mean, it always was a thing. It's just it's more popular now than it has been in a while. So, oh no, I was already mainboarding a Scavenging Ooze. Good. Good. I don't like having all that many paths in these company decks. I think they're fine. I think it's better to try to answer what your opponent's deck is doing with the creatures itself. It's not like there's Twin in the format anyway, so outside of like people jamming the Kiki decks. So, and the people that are jamming Kiki are jamming Kiki through like a chord, so you just counter the chord instead of trying to answer the Kiki. It's fine. It's an option. Angel says the Mirror Weave won't work on the... that's true, it wouldn't work on the Micaeus. Good point. It would work on the Dungrove, though. I'm willing to try this. It's not completely out there. It's not completely out there, but... yeah. I don't hate it. I want to fill the curve in about here, so yeah. Yeah, I mean, that gives us more synergy for the mirrors. The mirror weaves, excuse me. Which is good. Let's see, I want to fill out these two pieces. I mean, I could just still run the Geist. And then a 2-drop might be nice for the main board. Let me think of something. Run Graft Mage. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you've got this guy. That gives you essentially Vigilance. This lets us reuse what? So if we're untapping things, what do we want to be untapping? Do we have any, like, cool things to do with untapping? Untapping Mastermind is cute, but unnecessary. Untapping Mana Dorks is useful, I guess. I don't know. I mean, yeah, this is technically playable, but... it gives us another graft creature, but... yeah, I mean, untapping creatures is fine. Yeah, it might be totally playable, yeah. Probably sideboard either the Geist or the Dungrove, or only run one of the two in the deck. I mean, technically, you could argue that Dungrove is more main deckable if the... technically more main deckable if what? If the... if this is what turns on the Mirror Weave, or you could just run 1-1 split on the Mirror Weaves, but you could sideboard the Geist. It's fine. You don't have to mainboard that. This has better synergy. So how much synergy does that give us for the 2 of Mirrorweave then? 1, 2, 3, 4. It gives us a lot more synergy.